The Gamecocks and the Wildcats do battle in Lexington, Kentucky, 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time on ABC in a very, very important game for both teams this season. This was a game that in the preseason I said was the most important game of the season for South Carolina. And to be 100% honest with you guys, I stand by that. I really freaking stand by that. This is a game that makes or breaks your season. Because you look down the road, guys. You got LSU next weekend. You got Ole Miss, Alabama, Oklahoma, and Texas A&M coming up. Not to mention the game against Missouri and Clemson. It is hard to think that if South Carolina doesn't win this game, it's hard for me to believe that they make a bowl game this season. And I feel like the team knows what's on the line here. They know they need to win this football game. But the task is not going to be easy, guys. You look at how South Carolina's offense performed last weekend. Well, Norris Sellers in the passing game was just, it wasn't there. And outside of a few good runs, the running game wasn't all that either. Now, Rocket Sanders and Lawrence Sellers, they were able to give you some kind of push on the ground. But man, offensive line could barely protect you. Blocking was horrendous. And that was against Old Dominion, guys. You're going up against one of the most physical teams in the SEC today. You're going up against a really, really good defense in the Kentucky Wildcats. They got big-time ball players, and they are going to make life hell for the South Carolina offensive line. For South Carolina to win this game, guys, they got to have an offensive pulse. They have to. And, don't get it twisted. It was week one, right? We saw a lot of teams struggle in week one. We see it almost every year, but we definitely saw it this year. Can South Carolina get an offensive pulse? Can they be improved on the offensive side of the ball? Because I'm going to tell you something everybody already knows. I don't even feel like it needs to be said. But if you play like you did last week against Old Dominion offensively, you're not winning this football game. You might get blown out. Defensively, though, this is where I think South Carolina can hang around in this football game. It was Old Dominion, but give them credit. Kyle Kennard, absolute beast. The South Carolina Gamecocks, they lived in the backfield of Old Dominion. 5 sacks. Dylan freaking Stewart. You talk about someone who's going to be a stud this season. Watch out for this guy. That's for every SEC team. I believe this South Carolina defense, at least the defensive line, will keep Carolina in this game. However, Brock Vandagriff in that Kentucky passing game, I do believe will have some success. We saw the secondary get burnt. There are some guys on coverage that I really don't feel like should be on coverage. And one really needs to step up. DQ Smith, how does he improve? I feel like he's being misused, but we'll see. And a big thing South Carolina did that won them the game last week, and they're going to have to do it again, is force turnovers. They got 4 turnovers last week. 4 turnovers. If South Carolina can force turnovers and give their offense some opportunities in this football game, you got a shot. I'm not trying to pump Kentucky up as some kind of world leader, but you are definitely going to need to make plays. You are definitely going to need to get turnovers against this football team. As far as my prediction goes, and this one is tough for me, given everything we saw week one, giving everything we know, Kentucky is the better overall team, right? You look at both lines of scrimmages, I think they're better than the Gamecocks. For some reason, and I don't know why, I have a gut feeling about this football game. I don't know why. Mama always says to go with your gut. However, you can't always make predictions based off of that gut, right? I have a gut feeling Carolina's going to win this football game. Dare I predict it? Dare I predict it? And the reason I think that is I just have a feeling that this South Carolina defense, at least the defensive line, is going to hold Kentucky in check. And they are going to give their team some opportunities. South Carolina's won 2 in a row against the Cats. 2 in a row. In fact, the last time they played Kentucky in Lexington, they were up by as much as 24-7. It was a garbage touchdown at the end that cut the lead to 10. It cut the loss to 10. Now, granted, Kentucky was facing some injuries. And they're facing some injuries again. I don't know. Maybe I am the craziest guy on planet Earth. I got a feeling Carolina's going to win this game. But I just don't know if I can predict it. I don't know if I can predict it. I just don't. When you look at Kentucky on both sides of the ball, I just think they're better. I think they're better. Again, my gut says Carolina's going to win, but my brain says Kentucky's going to win. It's weird. I want to pick South Carolina so bad, guys. I don't want to pick the Gamecocks to lose. Ever. But I kind of have to. I got Kentucky winning this football game 24-17. I really, really freaking hope this team proves me wrong. I really do. I really do. And I do believe that we're going to see some improvements. I just don't think it's going to be enough. I don't think it's going to be enough. I don't see this team scoring enough to beat Kentucky. I believe this defense is going to keep Carolina in this game. I believe they will. Kentucky's going to make some plays offensively. Brock Vandagriff's going to make some plays. Make no mistake. But I do think South Carolina is going to hang around in this game. There's money coming in on the Gamecocks, and I do think it's for good reason. We're going to find out a lot about this football team in this game because this is where the meat of your schedule starts. Right here. Right here. And South Carolina's heard all the noise. They've heard all the noise. How do they respond? We will see. I think there will be some improvements, but I just don't, my gut tells me that Carolina's going to win. It told me Carolina was going to win in last year and in 2022, and they won the football game. So, maybe I'm a fool. Maybe I'm a bigger fool for going against my gut. But I don't know. I don't feel like making predictions off of gut feeling is the right thing to do here, guys. Maybe my gut will give me a slap in the face, and I'll never doubt it again. Haven't I learned my lesson from all my past picks? I mean, my God. But whatever. You have to go with your brain here. My brain tells me Kentucky wins. South Carolina's going to keep it close, but the Cats are just going to be too much at the end of the day. However, though, go Gamecocks. 2 in a row against Kentucky. South Carolina leads the all-time series. What is it, 20-14 now? Kentucky's had a dominant decade, but South Carolina still owns Kentucky, and I hope they prove it to the Cats again in the bluegrass of Kentucky. Go Cox.